Well, as reasons to go for a ride go, funerals are not the greatest, but yeah, it was 7 of us riding down from Lanta, a couple of the boys from Krabi, Pele's come over from Pipi, and we were leaving from the Fat Pig. Beautiful sunny morning, thanks for that, Tam. And this is us outside the Fat Pig about to head off. These buildings on the left are on stilts over the channel between the two Lanta islands, but you can't really see the water from here, but just to give you some perspective. Off we go then. We'll just loop round the top of the town here in Saladan and then head off across the bridge, Lantanoy, and then onto the ferry, and then once on the mainland we can ride proper. We're going to take a route across towards just north of Patalung, so it's away from the main roads. We're going to take the mountain roads and the country roads. Going to try and enjoy the trip, have a nice ride despite the circumstances, and I know Tam would want us to enjoy it. I'm sure if you're familiar with Tam, you'll know he was an absolute legend in the biker community in Thailand, and he'll be very, very much missed. So we are heading down to pay our respects to our brother. And yeah, this is us, off we go over the bridge here. And now we're going across Lantanoy here. Everybody seems to be running good. I did start to, you'll probably notice later on in the film, a couple of things go wrong with my bike. The first is the gear shift, which is, it's never worked properly. It just comes off the spindle by the foot lever and has to be knocked back on, but it's getting worse to the point that I actually carry the Allen key in the pocket of my jacket so I can just tighten it up whenever it happens. It's not a big deal, it's just annoying. But more serious is the internal throttle. You can see here the black part of the tube exposed between the grip and where the mirror mounts. It's a little loose. I didn't notice it at the time. I noticed later on because the whole thing came off in my hand. You'll see that on the film. But yeah, with this kind of bike, I, for whatever reason, didn't do my due diligence and check the bike over like I normally do. I normally spot things like a wheel bearing gone or whatever before we leave. But just today overlooked things, and that's what happened. Luckily, nothing serious happened, but it could have been pretty nasty. It was pretty scary when it happened. You'll see later on anyway.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jet cap. Cap.
And this is us riding off the ferry, so onto the mainland. I love the feeling of this bit of road every time we get off the island. After you get out of the little ferry dock here or whatever, for whatever reason, there's a really wide stretch of road just sweeping up the hill. It narrows down again afterwards, but it always gives you a real... It just feels really good when you can open the bike up and just take off up this big piece of road, and you really feel like you're starting your ride proper. You'll see in a second. So you've probably noticed I've got a rear camera on the bike this time. The camera works great, but the mount was terrible. I didn't really fit it out properly, and the bike vibrates a lot. It gets some pretty good shots when you're going slow in traffic like this. There's Steve-O coming up behind me. I stopped at some lights here, and Graham on the left there. But it's yeah, it wasn't any good really at any kind of speed or anything. But the camera I'll definitely keep, but I'll have to work on the mount. Hopefully the next one's better. About here, going through this junction, went to change gear, and this is where the gear lever dropped off. It just drops down onto the left foot rest. It's no danger or anything, but obviously you can't change gear anymore, so you have to pull over, kill the engine, tighten it back up, find neutral, and off we go again.
Gear lever fell off. I got the other thing in my pocket. I had to do it right.
Here we are. We're now getting close to the sort of mountain area. There's two mountain passes in this area to get across the country. There's one with a big, massive main road on it, it's a little bit faster, but this is the nicer route. Really, it's a little bit further north, and it's a great road. There's some awesome corners on it. You'll see in a minute though, with a bike like mine does tend to struggle once we get into the twisties. I've got a 240 rear tyre, as you probably know, and it's quite a low slung bike. And we turn left here, and this is where we get into the mountain road properly. Now I'll wave the others by after a bit. I'll get in front and then I'll wave them past again, because I'll just be holding them up. I need the whole road to get round the corners, and I can't go as fast as them really. It's scraping stuff. I've got the open primary on the left, which is it's great. I love it, but on these kind of roads, it's really hard work muscling this bike around, and I think that's one of the other reasons why the throttle comes off in a minute. So here we are. Now you can see I've waved them past, and I'm starting to drop back a bit because I know these corners, I know this road. I let Graham go. He's on a little nimble little Ducati scrambler, and that'd be great fun on these roads. He must be having a great time. I've also got a Ducati back home, but we're on the big Harley today. Now it's a steep uphill gradient. The cambers are a bit odd, and the road is worn. And it's just, I mean, you can say what you like. You maybe look at it and think, well, you're going a bit slow. You know, that's as hard as this thing can corner. If you go any faster, you're just going in a straight line. And it's you can't lean it over far enough, and it's not going to happen. See this corner here, turning right, the camber actually drops to the left, and it's a steep hill, a really steep hill. The camera doesn't really show, but this was it's great fun, but that's hard work. That's hard work on a big beast like this. Now we're just over the crest of the hill. Now you can just about see the plains below opening up towards the coast. GoPros don't really give that good long distance. What do you call it? Can't see it basically. But yeah, this road now is beautiful. Longer, wider curves, and I get the power up here a little bit. Chase them down on the straights, try and get back with the boys, and pretty soon, I think, any minute now, that it's moved a bit. I think I could feel the throttle moving at this point. It started to get loose in my hand. I just thought I could hold it in. Yeah, I'm fiddling with it there, I think. But it's not going to happen. And it's, again, one of the reasons bikes don't come with this kind of throttle. It looks pretty, it disappears, all the wires and everything, all the cables, everything are gone. But they do need a bit of maintenance, and they do need looking after. And when they go wrong, if you're not ready for it, it can be pretty scary. Here it goes now, I think any second now. It's already halfway out. It works like the same way as a handlebar on a bicycle goes into the top of the stem, and there's like a sort of diagonal sliced piece of steel that jams inside the handlebar tube. So that's just worked loose. That's what's happened here. Here it goes now, any second now. Yeah, there, it's gone already. It's gone already. Now, what I didn't realise was you now can't use the front brakes. You're nothing to pull against. So I try using the front brake to stop in a second, and it jumps all over the place. And we get for the rear brake and engine brake and stop. Graham, I got past Graham. Steve had gone. The others were still in front. Graham came over, give us a hand. There they go. Caught a few of them. And there it is, hanging there, completely useless. So luckily, I lined it up and managed to just bash the thing back in. And for the rest of the ride, I was bashing it in to keep it there. And yeah. Anyway, we'd stopped for lunch soon after that, and this is the elevated road. This is a beautiful part of Thailand, absolutely beautiful. It's a huge, long stilt road going out across these wetlands. I think it may be a World Heritage Site or something like that. It's definitely a national park. Anyway, we stop up here in a minute for a photo shoot, and this road goes on for miles. The scenery is beautiful, awesome, well worth a visit. And yeah, let's get you down this way.
standing in front of Hoover. Alright. Cheers, bro. I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, we carried on, finished across the elevated road, and here we are at the right turn traffic light to take us towards the East Coast Highway down to Songkla. Pele was not enjoying himself. He didn't complain, but every chance he got, he was getting off his bike to stretch his ass and his back. It's not very comfortable, that little green bike for him. I think he was, he wasn't enjoying the ride that much, but he didn't complain. Top guy, he was there. He never missed a beat. Good on you, Pele. And here we are on the main road down towards Songkla. This is following the east coast of Thailand, southern Thailand. We blast down here, and then there's the little ferry goes across Songkla harbour, I guess you call it, to Songkla where the bars are. You can drive there. It's not an island. You can go around on the road, but it's a bit further, and it's a nice little ferry. So that's where we're going next. There's 80. Up ahead there's Craig's up here, I think, blasting off in front. Battered old bike of his, but he goes for it, man. He can ride. And numerous traffic lights. What else do you do every time? Of course, drag racing. This is the queue for the Songkla ferry. The cars have to queue up, bikes can go around. This was ripping current when we were there, so there was a bit of a longer queue than normal because the ferries were struggling to dock, I think, or they could only dock one at a time. And we also had, it's very cheap, it's 3 baht for a bike, whatever that is, like 5p or something. And this lady, unlike the Lanta ticket booth, didn't seem to have a clue what I was saying in Thai. It's obviously my fault, my Thai is definitely not that good, but it's particularly difficult to understand this one, but yeah, here we go.
7 คันครับครับ21 7 ขอบคุณครับครับ
Now rolling off the Songkla ferry into Songkla. You can see the clouds there. It did look like rain a lot on the ride, but it never rained. We got real lucky with the weather that day. Either lucky or maybe Tam was just helping us out. Didn't go so well on the way back. We got pretty soaked on the way back, but no, this was a nice dry ride.
Hey, bro.